Hey everyone, Ryan here at Etrailer. Today we're going to be talking all about high-low adapters. We'll cover what are they, why are they used, and how to figure out if your flat toe setup could use one or not. This is a high-low adapter right here, and what it does is it plugs into the hitch on your motorhome and changes the connection point height from where your tow bar is actually going to get inserted and hooked up to that high-low adapter. Everyone's setup is going to be a little bit different. You may not need to bother with a high-low adapter at all, but from my experience, we set a lot of these flat toes up, and almost every single one of them benefits from a high-low adapter. In many cases, that 2 to 4 inch drop, you might be thinking, well, what's the whole point of this? Why do I need to change that connection point height, right? Well, the vast majority of tow bar manufacturers recommend that their tow bar be pretty much level whenever you're pulling your vehicle behind your motorhome. That way it'll perform correctly, you'll get the best towing experience, your vehicle will track better, and you won't have, premature wear on your expensive tow bar. As far as I know, pretty much all of them out there recommend that the tow bar have connection points no greater than 3 inches. So you'd want the connection point on your towed vehicle and the connection point on your motorhome's hitch to be within that safe zone. The way to figure out if you're going to need a high-low or not is really simple. Ideally, you could take your motorhome, park it on flat ground, take the vehicle that you're going to be flat towing, pull it up about like this, about how you have it hooked up, and you're going to take 2 different measurements. One of them being from the center of the hitch pin hole on your motorhome down to the ground, and from the center of the attachment point on your base plate down to the ground. And if that difference is greater than 3, that's when you need to start looking into these high-low adapters. So for example, today our motorhome's hitch height was 24 inches. The base plate on our Jeep, that was at 18 inches. So we had a 6-inch difference, and that's well past the 3-inch safe zone that we're looking for. So we opted to use a 4-inch drop, lowering that connection point down to 20 inches. Now we only have a difference of 2 inches between our base plate and the center of our hitch pin hole, keeping us in that safe zone and allowing us to have a tow bar that's going to ride level and perform as it should. When you take your measurements, and if both vehicles are within that 3 inches, then you're good. You don't need to bother with a high-low adapter. Now, for those of you that are just trying to get all the parts set up for your flat tow and you don't actually have your base plate and everything installed yet, sometimes what you can do is check the instructions for your base plate. Some manufacturers, not all of them, will actually list that height and kind of give you something to work with there and go off of. So that's always an option for you to get you going in the right direction. Now, for those of you that come to find out you do need a high-low adapter, there's quite a few of them out there. It's a pretty simple concept, a bunch of different sizes that you can choose from to kind of fit your needs and get you in that safe zone. Something that I've personally ran into when using a high-low adapter is the safety cables kind of falling short. And what I mean by that, whenever you use a high-low, it's going to add that extra space in between your flat toe setup. So your safety cables will have to stretch out a little bit more. And if yours are already on the tight side or a little on the short side, you might run into an issue there with them reaching, because you do want, when everything's fully extended, you're still going to want slack in your cables. You don't want these things super tight, that way when you make turns or whatever, there's some play there. In our case, ours were just a little on the tight side. I think we'd have been fine without doing this, but what I did was just use some heavy-duty D-links here, and that bought us an extra, 3 or 4 inches or whatever, and just gave us a little more breathing room there. But if yours are definitely on the tight side and you need extra length for sure, if you already have a set of cables, you don't necessarily have to buy a whole brand new extra long set. You can always look into extensions. So these ones are made by Roadmaster here. There's a bunch of different sizes of these as far as length and capacities. And that would buy you that extra space. You know, you'd put these onto the safety chain openings on your hitch, and then you'll have another connection point where you can take your safety cables ends, clip them on there, and extend them out. At the end of the day, you know, it's a really simple component. A lot of times it's overlooked, but it's really important to use a high-low adapter if your particular situation calls for it. You know, keeping that tow bar level, you'll get a lot more miles out of it. It's just going to, you know, provide you with a much better flat towing experience, and you're doing things the right way. So, you know, if you need one, really consider picking one up and getting everything dialed in. But, you know, hopefully kind of shed some light on the high-low adapter situation and helps you figure out if you can benefit from one or not.